Welcome back to the Outsider's Perspective. I am here with our host,
Rock the Outsider.
and I am just that other guy, Emeka.
Just that other guy. That's all. So, I wanted to talk about corruption because there's so much that is going on right now, especially with like you heard about what's going on in Jackson, Mississippi, right?
Now, what's going on in Jackson, Mississippi,
Oh, you
man?
haven't heard? Okay, so there is a county jail in Jackson, Mississippi, and they found 215 dead inmates buried behind the jail.
215
Yeah,
in Jackson, Mississippi.
in Jackson, Mississippi, and like
That's all they found?
that's crazy.
You
But
know
no,
what I mean,
so
man?
but yeah,
Yeah, I
like
mean, yeah, that is crazy. They're getting caught doing this shit now, but yeah, it's not
it's not
believe it or
new,
not, yeah, it's not new and it's not uncommon.
but it's like they're not notifying these people's next of kin that they're
Yeah.
dying. And then there was one where they exhumed the body, and the mom was like, "I want to be there," and then they did it without her there, and then reburied her son before she even had an opportunity to see it. It's like it's crazy.
Yeah, sometimes they're hiding stuff.
Yeah, they're
Just
hiding a
like
lot of
Bishop.
stuff.
The whole rest in peace Bishop,
Yeah,
his family was kind of old and shit, and I don't know if they pursued anything afterwards. I tried getting in touch with his sister
right,
hey, I'm a witness if you need,
right.
but stuff like that when you don't have family, then they can sweep you under the rug.
Right. Did you want to talk about that a little bit?
I mean, maybe we can if we don't get too far off subject.
I mean, it goes with with the officer just allowing it to happen. Like I feel like that's corruption. You know what I'm saying? Like just standing by and watching something, you're just as complicit as the people that's
Yeah,
doing something.
yeah. Now, I guess I can get a little into the story. Um, Bear with me, I'm not that great of a storyteller. So there was a guy named Bishop, an old man, and he was a crazy little aggressive old fuck,
But he was cool.
mean ass old man. But he's cool. I love Bishop.
I
Man. He
fuck
was a
with
cool ass
Bishop, dude.
dude. But yeah, I know how he gets sometimes when he doesn't have his drugs and shit, or
You
he's
know,
been up for a while. So he kind of gets mean every now and then. Well, he got put into the room with this young guy, and the thing back then were this shit called strips. So people would smoke these strips of paper, and it'll make you fucking trip out. Like you wig the fuck out.
like people going crazy,
Yeah, the term for it is wig outs.
wigging out.
So this what happened was, Bishop and Stacy, I think his name was. They used to smoke strips together all the time, and get high, get geeked up and shit. Well, I feel like when you smoke these strips, like it takes you to another place, man. Like you get possessed by demons and shit.
Yeah, you just
Okay.
crazy.
So and at Hancock, there's so much strange energy in there. Like I could feel when something's about to happen. Like when some bullshit's
Oh
about to
yeah,
go down.
for
It's
sure.
like this energy comes through. That's the demon. And it,
And
it
then it
puts
like
this.
lingers for days. Like just a bunch of just
Yeah.
different stuff happens like right back to back to back.
And you could just feel that shit,
Yeah.
So, anyways, well, I guess this night I was actually in Bishop's room before this shit happened, before we locked down, because he was somebody I talked to all the time, and I'll never forget the last time I saw Bishop. He was sitting on the bunk and he was smoking a dirty. He's like, man, he's all mad and shit. I'm like, Bishop? What's up, man? He's like, man, I'm trying to fucking smoke this shit, man. They won't fucking stay lit. I'm like, Bishop, what's wrong with it, man? What you dropping something? He's like, man, it's a dirty. I was like, man, Bishop,
That's why
come
I
on.
won't stay
Now
lit.
you know how to smoke dirty now, man. You know you need an open flame. It's gonna go out. You know it's gonna go out. So anyways, my last memory is him sitting over there on the bunk, and I told him that you need open flame. He's like, what, Mecca? You know what? I'm over here mad as hell, man. I'm glad you told me that, man. I forgot, and he smoked this little stuff before we had lockdown. So, anyways, when we locked down, I guess Stacy had went and got some. No, Stacy had smoked a little bit of the strip before lockdown, which she does it all the time.
Right.
The wig out thing doesn't happen every time, but
But when it
Every
happens, it happens.
like maybe 2 out of 10 times it happens. So when we locked down, I guess they were smoking or doing whatever, and about 2 hours after lockdown, you can hear Bishop yelling, and I didn't know what the fuck was going on because I was like 4 doors down from Bishop. But I hear him yelling. I'm thinking I didn't even know it was him. I'm thinking maybe someone's fighting or maybe someone's just waking the fuck out
Yeah.
because wake outs
Anything
are
is
normal.
possible. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
and then like people wake the fuck out, and the next morning it's like, hey, what happened to your room? Oh, nothing, man, just waked out,
Yeah.
just normal wake out. So this man's in there getting beat to death, and at the time I was just thinking someone was waking up. I didn't even know it was his voice, and I went to sleep. I woke up, and when I woke up, I knew something was like before the door even opened to my room. I knew something happened. I could feel it. Neither me or my roommate had been out the room yet. And so I go out the room and I go get some hot water or something. And I forgot who it was. He came to me and said, "Hey man, goddamn, Bishop dead, man." Swag told me. He's like, "Man, that boy Stacy killed old man Bishop last night." When he told me that,
Right. It clicked.
I knew it wasn't no what, huh? I was like, oh, that's what's going on because I had already felt it.
Right.
So when he told me, I'm like, God damn. And it kind of stunned me because it's like, shit, that man really just sat over there all night. He was screaming for his life. That's what was going on.
Yeah.
There wasn't a wig out. That was someone getting beat to death. Well, meanwhile, while he's getting beat to death, at one point, you have this officer. I forgot that fucking bitch's name. Can't remember her name. I'm gonna remember that name. I'm gonna put her on blast too. But anyways, she sat a few feet away from that door while he was screaming for his life, and she didn't open the door. She walked past the door, told him to be quiet,
That's crazy.
and she finished packing the man's bags, who was transferring. And it's crazy that she completely had like disregarded this man's life. Like this man's screaming bloody murder. Literally, he's begging for his life, and you could have easily called for backup. He was getting beat for hours.
Right.
This man was screaming for hours. So he was fighting for his life for hours. So all you had to do is contact someone. Yeah, it was late at night. Even if it took an hour and a half for the deputy warden to come here because he's the one who's in charge. He lives right there on the campus.
Right.
He still has a chance. But she did nothing, nothing at all.
That's crazy.
And when the doors pop in the morning, he's dead. And what's fucked up is the mentality of people and what they think about.
Right.
So these two guys, Stacy and Bishop, they were both cool to me. Stacy, he was just a young, confused guy. At the time he was a Muslim. I think he used to be GD. I don't know. He doesn't know his place, so
Right.
he's something. So you know, we would talk about stuff. And I'm trying to be. I'm old school. I'm up now.
Right.
So I try to talk some sense into some of these young guys. And I spent time with them, kicking it. Talking positive stuff with them. But so he was cool with me, So it was like a lose lose, He just killed Bishop because I fucks with Bishop. I knew Bishop way before I knew him, and Bishop was a good old man. Also, he just like put himself in prison the way I'm seeing it for the rest of his life because now you just killed this man. You're going home in months. Now you're never going home, bro.
Yeah.
Like that's fucked up. I hate it for both of y'all. But it actually didn't end up happening like that, which I'm about to get into that. But the way I saw it, it was a fucked up situation
Right.
all the way around. So for the officer to do that, which SOP is, you have to walk around and look at every inmate every 30 minutes, when you're in population. If they were doing that, Bishop would be alive right now.
Right.
So there should be a way for Bishop's family to get some kind of justice in the form of compensation for a what's it called, a death,
Like while in state custody or whatever.
Yeah, because he shouldn't. That should never happened.
Right.
Like negligence. Like
That's
there
exactly
was
what it is.
negligence. You know. So yeah, that's that. That's it. And what's so corrupt is the next day. Oh wait, back to the mindset of these people. So when everyone found out that everyone knows that there's a dead man in this room.
Right.
So that day was store day. I'm thinking, man, it's fucked up, man. Stacy's about to get a lot of time unless he goes and this is what he could do because we're all in the different rooms. He can just go pack his shit, put himself on the door, and if they come in here and find him, he really wasn't in that room anyway, so he could probably dodge it.
Right.
That's what I'm thinking. Even though I fucks with Bishop too, which it might sound fucked up that I would even think of a way for him to not get charged with the murder.
Right.
But I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, it's a loss. So yes, this happened, but this is stuff that happened that should have never happened.
Right.
Even though you did do that, which I feel like you smoked that strip and got possessed for a fucking hour and killed this man, which is not an excuse, but that's what happened. But even if you do get possessed for a fucking hour, 2 hours, these people are supposed to walk around just
Yeah.
and look in there, make sure you don't need a fucking priest to exorcise the demon out of you.
Right.
You know. So yeah. With that being said, I didn't want to see that happen to him, and these guys were thinking about like one thing. I went to this guy's room and I was like, "Yeah, man, it's a sad thing that happened, huh?" He said, "Yeah, bro. Man, I'm just telling bro just to wait until after store call till she come down here with that stow call, so that so I get my stow call, then she can go in, they can go in there and get them about there and shit." I'm like, "Bro, wait, say what now?"
Like a whole human being just
Yeah,
died.
there's a dead soul. There's a dead body, an empty body. There's a dead man over there. A man that comes to your room and buys shit and cleans your shit up all the time, and he's dead a few doors down. And you're talking about store call. You're talking about some
Fucking ramen
what
noodle
the
soups and tuna. Like you fit like you value ramen
yeah
noodle soups, honey buns, and tuna
yeah
over a
man
person's life.
yeah. And I don't know, man. To me, that's wild because the way I see and value human life is yeah, is more valuable than anything because
Right.
I'm willing to give. It's not more valuable than food. I'm willing to give my food to another human being.
Right.
It's more valuable than money because I'm willing to give money to another human being. It's people are more value than anything to me, at least.
And I feel the
And
same way, but
when
there's
someone dies, it's over. This man's dead. This is his mom's fucking child.
right.
He has a mom and dad too. He has brothers. He has sisters. And he's somebody. This can happen to anyone.
Yeah.
That can happen to any of us. So yeah, that's the story of Bishop, man. Rest in peace. But yeah, and that lady, she didn't get in trouble for anything.
Right.
She came back to work the next day doing the same things. She was a real bitch. She used to lock us in, or like if the door closes, she wouldn't open the door for like hours and shit. So she wouldn't give a fuck if someone was getting killed anyways,
That's
which she
crazy.
obviously didn't because
She
she's
didn't. She
literally
let it
sat there
happen.
and let it happen.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
it's it's sad how common that is because something similar happened with my co-defendant. I don't know if I've ever even told you this story about my co-defendant. Yeah, so oh man, it was a few years into our bid, and he was at Reedsville, and he got on drugs and all of that. Young white dude. You already know how it is,
yeah,
and so
they all have the same stories.
and yeah, he ends up in the hole, and somehow he's in contact with his mom, and he's calling his mom. He's like, "I need somebody to come down here and talk to me. Like somebody needs to come, check on me." And she's calling to the prison and like, "Look, can somebody please go down there? Somebody go talk to my son." And they're like, "Oh, he's fine," and this and all this and that. And I'm not sure how long this is going on, if it's over the course of a day or a couple of days. But by the time they get down to him, the man's hanging from his bunk. And they get in there and they get him down. They get him down in time, so he didn't die immediately. but he was in a vegetative
Shit.
state for
Damn.
like I want to say like 2 years maybe.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and then he passed away, and it's like, why do you feel like I do under okay? See, it's like I can see it from both sides somewhat because there's so many people that fake things and do things just to get the guard to come to the door and then pull their penis out, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like when something serious is actually happening, like sure the guards are hesitant, but it's like there should be some sort of protocol that you take in every single situation and you treat every single situation with a certain amount of seriousness, I guess, and then let there be repercussions. It's like a
Yeah.
fake call to 911. You know what I'm saying? Like it's illegal, and you there should be repercussions for it. It's the same thing when you're in the hole and you're trying to get the officer to come to your door, and if you're just trying to bullshit and waste their time, or expose yourself or whatever it is that you're trying to do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when somebody's mom is calling from outside of the prison and they're calling and like, look, go in there and talk to my son. You could do her that courtesy,
Yeah.
And I mean, she had a lawsuit with them and she won $1 million, but still, that's
For
not
sure. Yeah.
that's your child's life.
Yeah. $1 million is
Like you
nothing.
can't buy another kid,
No. Can't buy all those memories.
none of that. And it's I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that people that stuff like that happens to should be able to pursue a wrongful death lawsuit
Yeah, for
against
sure.
the state. And that's what I was thinking about wrongful death
Yeah,
earlier.
they should find a way because why are so many people dying inside of prisons? Why is there so like suicide? Tennessee
Yeah.
man killed himself, but like, why is no one checking on inmates? Why is nobody like? There's no sure. There's these counselors that they have that come around and don't do shit, but like, why is there no real mental health treatment other than you get to a certain level of mental health and they just dope you up?
See, now they have it so that when you come in, you automatically a mental health something like
Right,
there's like a mental. So like that's how they got passed, and they made every mental health and regular inmates like that's all the prisons are now.
right. Everybody's
So
mental health
yeah,
because they're locked up.
every prison mental health prison they have counselors are for it. Um, but with the
Mental health. The counselor's not doing anything.
yeah, yeah, the counselors not doing anything. There was something else I was about to tell you, and you must edit this, by the way.
I will.
Yeah. Um, it's gonna come back to me. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. For the what the people do.
Should we just move on?
Yeah, we're gonna move on.
All right.
There's something important too about this subject.
Yeah. It's not right the way that things happen, and nobody is held responsible for the loss of these lives.
Oh, yeah. So these prisons that this stuff is happening at are supposed to be maximum security prisons.
Right.
They're called close security prison. That's a close observation
Right.
prison. Like at all times, we must be in view visual contact. In
Unobstructed view of an
yeah,
officer.
unrestricted view. Yeah, so we're supposed to have we have windows on all the doors. Nothing's supposed to be on the doors. So if they walk past, well, when they walk past like they're supposed to, they can see in there and see nothing's happening. Yeah, at all times they're supposed to be able to see us. That's why the windows on the bathrooms, the showers, all that.
Right.
So if they went by the book, then this stuff, yeah, it wouldn't be a problem.
Right.
But they don't go by the book. Now, I know how this is, how it goes. Sometimes you want to be able to get in good with the officer and be cool.
Right.
Some of them, they're people too. But the thing is, that's fine too, because they're officers that used to kick it and play with some of the other inmates and
Right.
shit. But there's a line that needs to be established, like with professionalism. Like you can be cool with people and shit, but when it comes to certain things, like walking around making sure motherfuckers are alive,
Yeah.
if someone's beating on the door screaming for their life, hey, drop everything. Yeah, I'm not playing right now. Hold on.
Right.
There needs to be a line.
And I think there's really no training either involved. Like they go find these kids 19 years old and just throw them in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think they do some like little training on a computer maybe. Like they have to take a test or something like that. Other than that,
Yeah, anybody can get in there.
yeah, as long as you don't have a felony and you have a pulse,
Pretty much.
like they don't count properly. It's so much going on, and it's like, what is this doing for society? Like, I mean, sure, there are violent criminals out there, and there are people that I feel like deserve to be incarcerated, but not everybody that is incarcerated needs incarceration. Some people need therapy. Some people need rehab. Some people just need guidance. And as a society, why aren't we offering that?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think some. I think like all,
Yeah.
because there was a time when I was in there, I needed guidance. I needed some kind of. Luckily, I found a way myself, but some kind of path. Something to reprogram my mind
Right.
to to successful thinking and successful actions.
Right.
So yeah, that's definitely required. I feel like that's necessary for everyone in there.
And I think that we should build a network of people because you and I, we've been through that situation of being in prison and transitioning out. And like when I did it, I didn't have nobody. Like I didn't have nobody who had been through what I'd been through to even know, like, or even like explain to me what to expect. And the world changed so much in the time that I was locked up. Like it was just crazy jumping back into it, especially like dealing with like the remnants of COVID because like we missed all of that.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't miss it
But
because it was
we were
crazy in
somewhere
there
else.
too.
Yeah.
But
I mean, well, not really.
it was different. It was
They started feeding us again on the
yeah,
weekends.
we definitely got food.
And then
but like there's
they
times where
stopped
there'd be
coming
no
around for
officers.
inspection.
Like
Yeah,
there
they
was no
stopped doing everything. Yeah, we
inspections.
had
There
the
was no
police station
count
in there
time.
at the time. Like it was really all right until someone had to fuck it up. We
Yeah.
went for like weeks where I have to do inspections, so we cooking liquor.
Every
We
day.
got
Oh
everything.
man, I was going crazy with the
Yeah,
liquor.
and then some idiot had to go and stab somebody.
Yeah. But
Fuck that all up.
I lost my train of thought this time.
COVID in there. It was crazy.
Oh yeah, but no. So I feel like we need to build some sort of network of people, like formerly incarcerated people, to help one another. You
Mm-hmm.
know, help adjust, help transition your mind because there's certain behaviors that you have to have inside of prison that you're not even aware of.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like a subliminal thing that just like it gets ingrained in you because you're just in there and you kind of just fall into the mold and then you just get let out and like you still have these behaviors with you. You still have these habits that you might not even recognize you have.
Mm-hmm.
And like somebody else who's been through incarceration and reentry successfully can help you by letting you know like, hey, probably shouldn't do that, you know,
Mm-hmm.
or be aware of when you do this and this, you know, you talk too aggressive to people sometimes and
Yeah.
like not even realizing it
You
just
scare
because,
them and shit.
yeah, dude, I didn't like people that know me and people that I sit there and kick it with, they're like, oh, you're cool. But then like somehow I can come off aggressive to other people, but like literally I am sarcastic 97% of the time. Like I'm just joking, like I want to laugh and have a good time because I know how bad it can be. You know, like why would I want to walk around being mad and aggressive and angry and like like why? It's crazy. But yeah, craziness. Speaking of craziness and officers, so somebody sent me a link. I think I shared it with you. Somebody sent me a link of an officer, a former officer now from the prison that we were at, Hancock State Prison, who she was caught in intimate acts with an inmate, caught by another inmate, and
right now.
and she was kindly asked to leave. Oh yeah,
Let's
go ahead and
see.
read
I will
this
go ahead
article.
and read this. Human and Civil Rights Coalition of Georgia. Okay. Everything but the safety and rehabilitation of inmates is going down at Hancock State Prison. We received a tip about Sergeant Kinkara Battle. That is Sergeant Kinkara
You can
Battle.
spell that.
Sergeant Ken apostrophe capital Quara.
Yeah. If you know,
Battle Battle.
if you know how to pronounce that, let us know because we're probably saying that wrong.
Yeah, Kinkara. So okay. Who was a sergeant at Hancock State Prison, being caught last week, 1/21/24, having sex with an inmate and being caught by one of her colleagues.
Oh, caught by a colleague. Okay.
So, caught by colleagues, she knew about it the whole time. She probably got mad and jealous and went ahead and told on her because she probably does the same thing too. Okay, after some investigating, CGA was able to get our eyes on the heavily redacted incident report. Yeah, they will change an incident report
quick with the quickness.
Even after you read it and tell them, yeah, it said such and such. No, it didn't. They'll tell you right to your face it didn't say that. You'll give them a copy of the one that you have, and they'll tell you, no, give me that. They'll try to take it from you. No, you didn't say that. It's right here. Okay. What's interesting from looking at the incident report, there are a total of 4 female officers listed as being directly involved. It's no wonder the staff can't properly do their jobs and perform count, security checks, etc. They are too busy sleeping with the inmates and bringing in contraband. Another one bites the dust. Thank you for the tips. So, yeah, that was from, what is this? Human and Civil Rights Coalition of Georgia. That was a post. Somebody from the inside putting all this shit out there.
And I mean, it's common. It happens all the time, but like it needs to be put out there because it's like the level of professionalism that you have to have. Like, why would you come and like? I mean, I understand there's incentives. Like, there's some inmates that make way more money than I make.
Like, so, you look at the comments sometimes and that shit's just
I love the comment section.
Say, now, why would y'all go and get the get this picture of all these pics of this lady? They did
it wrong with the picture too. I don't know where they got that picture of her from, but
she got it out there, man.
Listen, it is not her work photo, that's for sure.
Yeah, my question would be, why would she post pics like these and you are a professional and work in the public eye? Everything does not need to be on social media. Yeah, that is true. If you are professional, which
these people are not professional,
does not understand. That is not in their. That is not a part of their vocabulary. That is not a part of their life. Professionalism, no comprende for them.
You have to understand, like, these people are straight out of the country of Georgia, like not the country of Georgia, but
the state of Georgia,
but the countryside, like the rural areas of Georgia, and like most of them, this is their first job. Like it was either that or work at the perfume plant or something like that. Like that was that's the opportunity in that town is, oh, when I turn 18, I can go work at the prison. Like that's the mindset that these people have, and there's no professionalism about it. There's no, like, I get it if you really have ambition and you're like, I want to work up to be a warden, which fuck you, but I respect it. You know what I'm saying? Because you have that ambition. But a lot of these people, they're just going to get a paycheck. They're not comprehending the fact that they are in charge of people's lives. And obviously, as we have mentioned, it's not working. Like, they're not taking care of the things that they should be taking care of.
No, because it's just they don't give a shit. Now, I can understand to an extent of why they don't give a shit is because they get they ain't really
They're
getting
not
paid.
getting paid.
You're not getting paid all that great, and it's a difficult job having to as far as the hours go. But because of that, it's like all you need to be doing is the minimal they're asking for. Get your paycheck because that's all you want, and get the fuck on. They actually make it harder for themselves because what they do is they try to make it easier for themselves by trying to be friendly with inmates and shit.
Yeah.
And that's just not going to work. Yeah,
time.
You're putting more work on yourself, and that's just don't do that. Just go by the fucking book and get the fuck out of there.
Because when you have those officers that are by the book,
they're easy to deal with.
They're easy to deal with because you know exactly what they're going to be,
and they'll bring the pack in too.
And they will.
Yeah.
But you have the ones that that are so by the book that like not to act up in front of them. That's all. That's it. Just don't let them see what you're doing. That's wrong.
Yeah.
Like most of them don't. They don't care. Just don't do it in my face. But then you have the ones that are like, I want to be on the bullshit with you, like coming into prison, like, oh, I'm gonna bring the pack in and all this and that, and I'm gonna be this big bad boss bitch and take pictures on Instagram with all this money I'm making. Like, fucking stupid. Not gonna work. It's crazy. There's this one.
I'm pretty sure that's gonna be like on American Greed sometime soon.
I'm not gonna lie.
That's how she gonna make some money. Look,
American Greed.
Hey, look, it's not over for you yet, Miss Battle. Yeah. Hey, you still got a chance. Go sell that story, baby. She work hard for the money.
No, I actually. While I was locked up, I was writing a screenplay, or not a screenplay, a TV series. So I have like 8 episodes of it, and it kind of revolves around these kind of topics, like the things that I saw in the corruption and a little bit of like the gang activity and how that affects both the inmate population as well as the staff, and like it's a lot going on. I really, if anybody's interested, let's work together. Let's get this thing out there. Help me make this TV show into a reality.
Yeah, we could definitely do that.
I have so many ideas, and there's so many creative people and smart people that I've met while locked up, and they just need that guidance, that opportunity to use the talents that they have and the knowledge and intellect that they have in a constructive way, as opposed to the destructive ways that led them to incarceration.
Yeah. I think the reason why you've seen so many of these people, with their talent and stuff in there is because they're in an environment where it's like, I like to describe it as the void. Like there's nothing. Right. So you are all you have. So like certain qualities of you are gonna come out because you're just it's like an experiment. You have the controlled space,
Right.
The space is just neutral. There's nothing, nothing that's affecting you that you need, like, having to work, have your own identity, have your own clothes.
You don't
nothing,
have
you have nothing.
You don't have social media bombarding you.
Yeah,
you don't have any of that. It's just you and your thoughts and paper. If you have unlimited paper.
Mm-hmm. I mean, hell, your thoughts are good enough, for some people, even if they're not, putting it down on paper.
Right.
But, everyone has a time to think in there. Yeah. That's why people's, qualities are, they are reflected more because they're thinking, and when they're thinking, these qualities are influencing it. So you're going to see it.
Yeah.
Parts of people's personalities and stuff. Whereas, out here, people are in zombie mode, work, pay bill, do this. That's it. Okay, I have this much time for myself, and within that time, how much time do I take to think about myself and know myself, and actually be myself.
They're going to take that time to scroll.
Yeah, because at work, you can't be yourself. You have to work,
right.
Unless you have a job where,
Where you can be
you actually
yourself.
can be yourself, which is excellent. But most people don't. They have a job where they have to, cater to customers, and do this, do that,
Just be a cog in the machine.
Yeah, you know.
And then a lot of people don't know how to be themselves. They don't have any personality. Like,
Yeah, that's the reason why they don't know how to be themselves, because they don't have time for themselves.
right.
To, like I say, in prison, you have nothing but time to sit around and think.
Yeah.
So even the ones who bullshit a lot of the times, you can only bullshit so much. That door that closes every night.
Right.
You are going to get quiet time to yourself when you're not sleeping in that bed. You're in your head. That's the times that where people really benefit.
Right.
It might suck at the time, like fuck, I'm up still, I'm sleepless, but your mind's going though.
Right.
And this is the time that to yourself that you need sometimes, and it bothers a lot of people. I've had many sleepless nights where I'm just like, I haven't accepted, myself yet. That's
Right.
why I'm having the sleepless night. So once you're able to accept that, accept yourself, and become a little bit closer to yourself, you have less sleepless nights.
Right. For sure.
A lot of people out here have many sleepless nights because they don't have time to actually
decompress.
Yeah, decompress and have that and face it. Face it. Forward. Take it face on.
Right. A lot of people are afraid of what's inside themselves, and so they find a lot of these external things to kind of mask it.
Mm-hmm.
Like why they want to be on social media so much, or do drugs, or whatever it is that they do to occupy their hands,
Mm-hmm.
so they don't have to deal with what's going on in their mind.
Yeah. Everything they have to have something has to have their attention at all times. Yeah. We were watching some old school little sitcom things like what's it called? Full House. What's the other one with Steve Urkel and shit?
Family Matters.
Family Matters and shit. Well, they have a little intro song and shit. And we were watching this shit, and Tanya's friend was like, "You know what?" I was thinking in my head, that was a long ass fucking intro song. She's like, "You know what? That intro song was like super long." Like, I was like, "Yeah, you know what? You noticed that too?" And she was like, "Yeah, yeah. Shows and shit nowadays are so different."
Yeah, their intro is like just a little blip of music.
Yeah, exactly. Quick, like Rick and Morty's theme. 30 seconds.
Yeah.
But back then
that's really like, that's a long theme song.
Yeah, if it was even 30 seconds, I don't even think it's 30 seconds. But the Family Matters and all that stuff, that's just like a whole song. They sing the whole song. And back then our attention, we were able to pay attention much longer. It's like as devices came out, the less attention everyone can pay. Like children, they're supposed to fucking be thinking about everything, but like adults now, I mean, it's grown. Everyone, the social media shit, having to have your attention at all times, like scroll.
Yeah.
You're not gonna watch that video, but for a few seconds, oh, don't got my attention. Go. Oh, it's got my attention. Oh, it lost my attention. It's never. You don't need patience anymore.
Right.
It's like we need now.
Everybody wants that instant gratification.
Yeah.
No one's willing to just sit down and like just enjoy something, take in, like sit down and watch a movie and actually just watch it, not have it on in the background and scroll through your phone.
Yeah, that shit. I hate that shit.
I mean, I do it. Like I'm guilty of it.
I don't do it.
I'll put a movie on and then I'll end up scrolling.
If I ever do watch a movie, I'm actually watching it. I hate it if someone asks me to watch a movie with them, or if I offer to watch a movie with someone and they're like on their fucking phone instead of watching.
Now, when I go to the theater, I will definitely make sure I pay attention.
Oh yeah.
But I'm also the type of person, while I'm watching a movie, I have to look up every fact about the movie, about each individual actor, about what movie this actor was in before, and all, like it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, movies are too expensive not to pay attention when you're there.
Yeah.
I'm going to see that Bob Marley movie, The One Love, coming out February 14th.
There's a lot of
shit.
movies.
I'm doing advertisement. Whoops. But anyways,
pay us.
The 14th. And, I love Bob Marley. Like, I'm going to see that. We already have the tickets.
Word.
I hope it's going to be good.
I haven't been to what was the last thing I saw? I saw Wonka. Well, I didn't see Wonka. I paid to see Wonka and I saw the inside of my eyelids. I was tired.
Man, That sucks.
I heard a couple of the songs. I enjoyed it.
Wonka.
Yeah.
I think I'll make something new instead of just making remakes.
Well, I mean,
Like something
it
new
was like a
that's
prequel.
like premium, like something that's gonna last.
Oh, I know a
Like the
guy
new Harry
who
Potter.
wrote. I know a guy who wrote a couple of screenplays on a TV show while he was in prison, and it's all original content. And I feel like that's the thing that people are looking for. So maybe if someone's out there listening and they know somebody who could, I don't know, help produce movies or TV shows or something like that, I could hook you up with someone who has a lot of original content.
Hmm.
Shameless self promotion right there.
Yeah, and we need an intern too, by the way. We're not on Indeed, but you can just hit us up.
Yeah, throw that in there.
So,
It's crazy. Um. Oh man, there was this video. I don't know if you've seen it. I was gonna send it to you. I don't know if I did, but I'm not sure where they are in the world. But it's a former prison, and they've turned it into like a luxury hotel. So you're paying for the prison experience, but it's luxury. I don't understand because like the cells are like really nice and plush and everything like that, but the outside looks like a prison. And it's like, what if they were getting the real prison experience, like the actually, I'm talking about the food,
oh, how about
the physical, the verbal beratement while you're walking down the sidewalk, like.
listen, man? This could be a fucking episode of a TV show like Black Mirror or something.
Yeah.
So like they trick you into coming to this luxury prison experience, but you have to sign a waiver.
Yeah.
It's like, look at this shit. Check this out. It has people lounging on the nice plush fucking prison things. But during your time stay, you have a certain time stay. You sign your waiver for the whole experience. No one ever goes through all the paperwork, but it tells you that they can treat you how people are treated in prison.
Right.
So, trick them in, like have dinner and everything. And after dinner, it's like lockdown. And when people are like bullshitting around, pull the CERT team out,
Yeah,
start beating their fucking ass, beating their fucking ass and throw them in cells. They're like, oh fuck, yeah, this dorm's going lockdown for 2 days. Wait, what do you mean 2 days? I have to go to work. Well, you signed that waiver. This is a whole 40-day fucking experience,
It's over with. You're locked up.
And show them real fucking prison. That would be an excellent fucking show or excellent episode of the TV
show. This is crazy because there's so much stuff about prison that people don't realize happens on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Like verbal abuse. When I tell you that, like those little bitty women, like 5'2", talking to me like I'm a child,
a bitch.
Like I'm talking about just call me everything but a child of God in front of everybody, and we all just like.
And it's a psychological thing. I believe they do that. They have the imbalance of women over men, women authority over us men. I think it's a psychological thing. I think they do that on purpose.
I think so too.
Because they have these women in there, and they're how they are in there.
Bitter.
Yeah, mean as fuck, and just naturally, for natural order, women are not the ones, being authority of a man. Right. You know what I mean? It's just not like that. So, like, in professional situations, they'll have another man, being authority over a man,
right,
and a woman authority over the women. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just because of just
it makes everything a little bit easier.
Yeah. So so they have these women over us doing, controlling shit. They even control the men in uniform, like the women.
Yeah, they do.
You have like a lieutenant come in there, and this sergeant bitch telling everybody what to do, and he says something. She's like, shut up, and the nigga shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
It's like it's mind fucking people, So now when you get out, women want a man, so they're in there fucking molding your mind to having a woman being the authority, and people accept that, and it really kind of fucks their mental up when like socially.
Yeah.
I think that could subliminally fuck up your mental.
And then I feel like it's not even the fact that it's women, because I feel like the type of women that this job attracts are like women who've been hurt by men before, or
Mm-hmm.
like they've been scorned, or they were abused growing up, and like now they want power.
A lot of them like the abuse.
Yeah, like they're trying to like almost bring a balance to their past by, I don't know, taking it out on these men that she now has power over.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I'm not saying that that's the case 100% of the time, but it definitely is more often than not.
Yeah, that's a good theory for a lot of them. But it does seem common. That does seem like a common thing with them.
Yeah, I've thought about it because you can tell which of the women are there for the power and which are just there for a paycheck and which are there to actually genuinely help. And the ones that are there to genuinely help, unfortunately, don't stay long because they see the corruption. They see how little that they can do as like a single individual. And like we had at one point in time we had what was the teachers, the professor that came in and was teaching, older black lady,
Doctor,
Dr. Jeter.
yeah, Doctor Jeter,
And she was really sweet, and she was very educated and very intelligent, and she like loved talking to us as people, but like she saw what really was going on in that place and she hightailed it.
Yes, I'll never forget the day when she realized what the dude in the back of the room was doing the whole time. So I'm working up there in education.
Oh, that's what we were both working up there.
Yeah, I was working in her classroom. So you have these infamous B11 bandits, and B11 is the infraction for public masturbation, or
It's an indecent exposure.
indecent exposure. Yeah. So there's a guy. He's sitting in the like kind of back of the class, and every day he would be back there with one hand under the desk, and he'd be masturbating. Now,
But
here's
just
the
to say
thing:
it
in
like
prison, because I want to make it clear to everyone, I'm speaking layman's term. He jacking. You know what I'm saying? He's mad jacker. They don't know what the fuck that means. So I tell them, mad jacking is masturbating. But anyways, so when you're an inmate, to stay out of the gun line.
Yeah.
So if someone's doing that, you didn't
you
see
just
it.
don't look. You don't.
I've
It's
never
not
seen it.
happening. Like
Never happened.
I don't
Like,
know what's going
you
on.
turn
over
the
there.
corner and someone's like,
You're like, oh shit, my bad.
Keep your head up and keep on going. It didn't happen.
Don't double
So
take. That's when you get in trouble.
there are a lot of officers that are vets too that'll pull the same thing, like this nasty motherfucker, whatever, and they'll deal with it. Now, Miss Jeter at the time, she doesn't know.
Yeah, she doesn't know that
She's
that's
all
a
up in
part
the
of
gun
chain
line.
gang
She's
culture.
getting shot down right now. She's getting massacred, in the gun line. She's just standing all up in the gun line, getting hit by all the bullets. So she would walk over and help the kid or the dude, and she doesn't know that this man is fucking jacking his dick on her. Like, so the day she found out, like she had just helped him, and she stepped away from the desk and looked, and she noticed it, and she froze, and like she was just speechless, like, oh. A light clicked in her head, like,
this motherfucker been doing this the whole time.
What the fuck is going on? Yeah, she went and sat down at a desk, and she just didn't say anything else. And when the block movement was over with, she didn't even tell them to leave. That everybody knows it's time to go, so everybody's ready to go. And she didn't say anything else to anyone. Everyone left. A couple days later, it was over with. She didn't come back.
Yeah. It's crazy.
You didn't do anything wrong, Dr. Jeter.
No, she was trying to help.
Yeah, you did try to help, but some people just won't.
Are unhelpable.
Yeah.
You can't help someone that doesn't want to be helped.
But she was helping him, though.
I mean, she helped him, not in the way that she wanted to, but yeah, she definitely helped him.
Yeah. But that was crazy.
Man.
She got the fuck. Yeah. But she was very professional, man.
She was,
and that's not the environment for anyone professional.
No, it's not,
The professionals have been to Hancock and tried working at
and
Hancock,
it
but
doesn't work.
professionalism is not going to work in that system.
No, because
It's
it's just it's so ingrained in the way that it is, and it's been running this way for so long that it just is to the point where it is what it is.
yeah,
And without just like a major upheaval, there's no way to change the system. Like you can't change it from within. I don't know. It just it's something that needs to be done, but like I couldn't even comprehend how or like the resources that it would take. And I don't know, because even with all the contraband that's in there because of the corruption that's going on, because obviously the inmates aren't bringing it in. You know what I'm saying? Like, sure, maybe something comes through visitation every once, and you know what I'm saying. But like, as much stuff as you've seen in there, that's not coming through the visitation room.
no, hell no.
And there are people that are in prison that are, using what they have to take care of their families. Like I know people that are paying bills from inside of prison just because of the way that the contraband works.
Yeah,
So it's like I don't know. It's bigger than I feel like it's bigger than right and wrong, and it's bigger than everything. I don't.
it's all necessary. All of it's necessary, man.
But I mean, it's just like society.
It's a part of it's a economy itself. And it's
There
just
can't
like
be a market
it's just
without a
like
black market.
yeah, it's just like Bitcoin and shit. It's like you have this Bitcoin and you can buy whatever the fuck you want to with it. I mean, when you have money in prison, you can buy
Whatever you want
no,
with
no,
it.
no. When you have prison money on the account, you can buy a store call.
All right,
And that's it.
that's it.
Now, when you have
You buy a
money, when
fan.
you have black market money, you can buy the shit that's actually you can buy anything. You can buy stuff that's on the
anything that's,
store, or you can buy the shit that's not on the store that you have to get from this guy because he knows where to get it.
or you can buy stuff online and have it sent to your family. You can pay your bills.
Yeah,
Like it's just so much to it. Like it's very involved. It's a whole economy. It's a whole society within society that's separated from society, yet still connected in a way. It's like you're in a void, a time warp almost.
mm-hmm.
And the people on the other side of it, they're aware of it and they can contact you within the time warp, but they can't perceive what's in time warp the way you can from you being within it. If that makes any
Yeah, yeah.
sense.
They are living in the time on that. Okay, think of it as time zones. You're living in the Chang'an time zone right
Yeah.
now, which for me, Chang'an time zone was 1 week was a day for me. Like if I plan to do something, I make sure it's done by the week.
Yeah.
Friday by Friday it's gonna be done. It's like I'm gonna cook this liquor and do it this week. Like that's a day
Right.
because weeks would go by so quick. And
And like it's because you get your store call weekly. It's like it's like weekly payday. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
But for everybody.
yeah, yeah,
And so like it's the one thing that everybody has to look forward to communally is the store call. And so like it sets the precedence for everything
yeah,
because like you're literally deprived of everything. So like you have to celebrate the one thing that you're allowed to have.
yeah, yeah. I guess that's just how everyone's payday for out here to
Right.
compare it to. Yeah. Um, the store call that's a
Yeah.
weekly fucking holiday. So, anyways, if you're living on the Chang'an calendar, Chang'an time zone, like Chang'an fucking atmosphere,
Right.
Chang'an reality, you're aging at that rate due to its environment. Like you're in a whole nother. You just went. Rick just opened the portal, and you're in this. You went to the portal. You're in a certain place,
Right.
and you stay in that certain place for 10 years, right? And you come out, you still look the same, and all kinds of shit has happened since you've been gone,
Right.
and it's like you're still here after all this time, but you haven't aged like we have out here,
And you
and
don't
your mind is different. Like you're just different.
right. And you don't feel like 10 years was a long time. I felt like I was gone for a long time, but at the same time I don't feel like I was gone long, but like everything around me has changed.
Oh yeah,
Like really the streets names are the same, and the gas stations, and then everything else is like different or new or repainted or repurposed or oh, it's crazy.
I can say that the people are different compared to when I left in 2010. Man,
Yeah, people are
this
definitely different now.
social media is to blame for most of it because people are so stuck on it. Like this kid that I know, he is so fucking stuck on like Snapchat. This motherfucker got blocked out of Snapchat or something for someone reporting or some crazy shit. This motherfucker threw a fit, was crying and everything. Like his life just ended. His Snapchat got locked out, and he can't get anything off his Snapchat. Oh my god! Like this, I thought
People,
so. I thought there was an emergency going on. It's like, man, bro, are you serious? You're crying because of that? Man, that's not healthy at all.
I don't think these kids would have made it back in the '90s.
Hell no, man. Are you serious?
Snap, what is a snap? We didn't have like social media was just even incomprehensible back then. Like we used to
And
just
we
go
had
out and
AIM,
find
bro.
that was
Yeah, that was the
that was the
shit.
peak.
That's
That
what
was great.
man, it paved the way for Messenger, bro. Like, come
Yeah.
on. If there was no AIM, there'd be no Messenger. Welcome. You've got mail.
And then even just the fact that they have phones and they can take it with them. Like
Mhm.
back then, you had to live your whole day, you know what I'm saying, and then go home
I'm glad you brought this up.
and get on the internet. You know what I'm saying?
So-
like the internet didn't go with you.
Yeah, this is what's wild now. We went to school at middle school, high school, no cell phone on us.
Literally,
Nothing, no line of communication. When we leave that house, if you don't call before I leave the house, then boom, you know where I'm about to be at. You can leave a message on the answer machine. All right. You're completely safe to go to fucking school. If anything happens, there's ways to contact you, pay phones or whatever. Nowadays, if you tell like someone were to take their child's phone from them because they are misbehaving or they're fucking up, well, then he won't have a phone. What's he gonna do without his phone? I'm like, what do you mean?
Like,
I was like,
what did people do without phones
Yeah,
for hundreds of thousands of years?
Well,
Like,
how are we gonna know where he is? Well, he's gonna tell us where the fuck he is. Like,
Going to school.
and then he's gonna go. Like, we did that. That's what we did back in the day. Remember?
yeah, but we weren't where we were supposed to be though. That was the difference.
Hey, but it doesn't matter. That's the chance you got to give them, man. You
Yeah.
got to give a kid that much freedom. They should be able to handle that.
It's crazy. Like people freak out when their kid doesn't have their phone. Like I don't know how to find. Man, I used to be on the other side of town,
Hell
like
yeah, go
on my
ventures and
bikes,
shit. Yeah,
like
man.
being like 4 people from the neighborhood, like all the way on the other side of town. Like, what are we doing over here? Like, if we had gotten to an accident, our parents wouldn't have known
They
would have found us eventually.
Yeah, they would have called the house if she wasn't there. They left the answer machine. She might have had a pager.
No, but I'm saying if
Remember
say
pagers
something
back in
happened,
the
yeah.
day?
But say something happened, like we're 5 miles in the opposite direction, like on the other side of town, and like one of us gets hit by a car or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that would
Like,
be unfortunate.
Something could happen, and there was no way for our parents to know where we were because we were gone.
Shit, if you got hit by a car or something, there'd probably a payphone close by.
I mean, even after like payphones died out, when people had cell phones, it wasn't, but like everybody didn't have a cell phone. If you did, you had the little Nokia brick.
Yeah,
I had one of those. You couldn't do anything but play Snake on it and look at your calendar.
Snake's all you need.
We didn't. That was the most entertaining game ever.
Yeah.
Oh man, times have changed,
Just, yeah.
and it's crazy because we even watched the shift, like the way that technology affected people inside of prison when they came and passed the tablets out. Is like it was like a culture shift, kind of.
Yeah.
It's like they gave everybody this. It's almost like they came through and handed everybody a pacifier. Like, here, look at this screen and be quiet.
Yes, I agree. because when I came in 2010, shit, you go to the hole, you're stuck in the fucking hole
You're just
for
in there.
30 days. Maybe you get a book. Maybe you can piece pages of books that people ripped up and shit to
I used to
read.
hate because they
You
would
know,
rip the books up to fish them to other
yeah,
people,
man,
and then
I
like it
hate
would
the
tear apart, and then you got to sit there and like read a book and do a puzzle at the same time.
the
Like,
abuse of books in prison is just so
oh
bad,
my
man.
god,
Come on,
using
guys, you
book
gotta
covers
stop
to
that shit.
fish.
Yeah, books are very valuable, and prison is the last place for many books.
Yeah,
Which is
which is
crazy.
crazy.
You know, there's some valuable shit in prison, minds and books.
Minds
You
and
know,
books.
but that's a very dangerous combination.
Yeah,
You know, so anyways, they abuse the fuck out of books. Needs to stop.
yeah, because I enjoy reading. I read so much. I mean, I used to read growing up too.
Yeah, I just really learned how to enjoy reading about, I guess, 10 years ago.
You know what it was? You weren't reading the right stuff.
No, I just wasn't reading at all.
Oh well,
I sat down and started reading novels and shit. I think the first book that I sat down and read and enjoyed was what's his name? Um, People make fun of him. They compare him to. They don't compare him to Stephen King, but he's an author too that does.
he's an author too. Dean Koontz.
Dean Koontz, yeah. See, you know what I'm talking about. That guy. Well, Dean Koontz, Life Expectancy. That was my first book novel that I read that I enjoyed and actually. I mean, it's the first novel I actually sat down on my own and read,
Right.
and it was an entertaining book. And I started reading more,
Yeah.
and then I ran into Game of Thrones.
Oh
And
man.
I've,
Winds of
that's
winter.
when I fell.
Winter is coming.
Yes.
Finally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Finally.
Yeah. We'll see.
It's better be my as long as we've had to wait and deal with the alteration of the storylines. Thank you, HBO.
Yeah. Bullshit.
It better be good, George R. Martin, because like we're depending on you.
Yeah. Don't let us down. I don't think you will.
I
Just
think it'll
stick
be
to your
great.
story. Screw what Hollywood says. Stick to your story because it's the best.
It'd be crazy if he heard this.
Yeah. That would be.
That would be insane.
Just do it, please.
But
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe we can have a book session sometime.
yeah, because I mean, I've read some. I feel like I've read books in prison that helped change my life. I've read books that I feel like everybody should read.
Oh yeah.
40 Laws of Power.
Autobiography of Malcolm X.
That's a good one.
Fucking excellent.
I read the works of Marcus Garvey, which is crazy. Like they did him so. I won't even get into that.
He had a good idea.
The Law of Success. Anything by Napoleon Hill, which was written over 100 years ago, still relevant to this day. I read a lot of Aristotle and Plato. I was at one point in time I was reading about theoretical physics. I read books on how to properly write screenplays, which was crazy how I just came across that while I was writing a screenplay and not writing it correctly. A book called Manifest Now, which it helped me learn like the power of my mind and my train of thought and how it affects my day and everything around me, and how you like I've manifested so many things with just like the things that I used to write while I was in prison and how many of them I've seen come true. It's like you can't convince me that that's not real. Like I don't care what anybody says. You can believe what you want to believe. I know what I've seen and what I've experienced, and that's really all that matters.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But reading is great. Writing is even greater because like reading is like your consumption, like you're taking in,
Yeah.
and then writing is like you're
out.
putting it back out into the world.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. I think there should be a balance because you know what a lot of people do. It's like, hey man, I read this book by so and so, and this other book by so and so about this. It might be for help and stuff like that. And it's like they've read fucking 50 books on all these different people's opinion about how to raise a kid, or how to fucking be a better athlete, or how to um, deal with people better socially or whatever. You know, they've read
Right.
all these books, but they've never actually put out their own theory, their own idea, like
Right.
wrote down their own theory on how things should work, or how something might, you know,
Right.
be better. You know what I mean? Like everyone's always quick to get someone else's idea, but where do you think their ideas came from? It came from themselves.
Right.
So I think more people should be doing that. Even if you do go seek other places for knowledge, you should always have your own idea,
Right.
and you'll learn where your idea is when you're getting knowledge from other places.
And it's crazy because, like, to relate this directly to the chain gang, when I learned how to cook liquor, it was like a process over time. Because, like, somehow, like, it wasn't even intentional, but I was just always around people that were cooking liquor. Like, it wasn't ever just like I put myself in a situation where this person's cooking liquor and I'm over here like seeing what. No, I just happened to always be around it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I picked up different tips and tricks from these different people that cooked liquor.
Mm-hmm.
And then I took what they did and I altered it into a way that works for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of the same thing. Like, if you take all of these different ideas and philosophies and
Philosophies.
philosophies from other people, you kind of can mold it to your train of thinking and your way of, like, your you know, and like make it work for you. Like, you're not just taking, which a lot of people do, is just take your words and spit them back to you. Like, you just,
Yeah, you didn't learn anything.
like, no,
you just
you
tell me what I know.
yeah.
Like,
You're just telling me what he said.
Yeah.
You're not even paraphrasing it. Like, you're saying word for word what he just said. And like, you think that you said some profound shit. Like,
yeah. Yeah, it's like if I ask someone, it's like, what do you think about space travel, or what do you say about this? What do you think about the nuclear explosion? Well, Einstein said such and such and such and such. It's like, okay, that's what Einstein said. Now, what do you think about nuclear fission? Well, Einstein says E equals mc squared. Okay, that's what Einstein said. Now, what do you say? They will. It's
they
like
will never be able to answer
they
it.
won't comprehend like what I'm saying. What is your opinion on it? You know, it could be based on E equals mc squared. It could be based on relevance of mass over whatever and whatever. But what is your interpretation on it? Like, make it make sense to you. How does it make sense to you as far as it working? You know,
Right.
but people are stuck in the programming where it won't allow them to. Oh, wait, let me think about it. For example, the Bible. I love this one. I love this one. It's like we get this book, and before we read the book, we already have bias because it's like you read it. It's like, oh yeah, you're gonna read about that devil in there. Oh, he the bad guy, that Satan, that mother. It's like, oh man. So when you read it and you read the story, you know it's not like you're reading the story in a pure form because you already know who the bad guy is,
Right.
who the good guy is. Now, if no one ever told you who the bad guy was or who the good guy was, then and people were able to think on their on their own, like, oh, look at the snake slithering over to talk, pull up and talk to this woman. Oh, and gave her information on how to have knowledge
To escape the
to
the bondage, the prison that she was in.
Prison, yeah, and give us knowledge to create and be like fucking God. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck? That's my partner. That's my favorite. That's the hero.
Yeah.
You know, this other God guy who comes through the garden saying, "Hey, what you doing?
Giving me rules. Telling me
why you touching my tree, nigga? You know, it's like, what the fuck you mean, nigga? I want some of this fruit, man.
Oh my
Damn,
God.
bro.
God coming out of the sky saying, "Why you touching my tree, nigga?" Would be crazy.
Look, why you in my refrigerator eating my shit? You can touch anything in the refrigerator, but don't touch that shit. So yeah, God, what you need this shit for? You're God. You know what I'm saying? This for us. Like, we can consume this. Like, if
you don't
God,
need to consume anything.
Yeah, like, anything that you consume is like beyond me. Like, I can't even like fathom it. You know, this is for human consumption. That's just like us eating something that's for animal consumption.
Well,
We're
we
not.
have.
Yeah, we have. But what kind of savages do that? What kind of savage god eats something that's for human consumption?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's crazy. So, anyways, so me being me to break that program, and I had that example to myself. I'm like, this is how I would see this. This is not the bad guy. This is a good guy. When you see movies and shit, um, I like to use Transformers as a good example
Right.
because you already know who the good guys and bad guys are.
Right.
The Autobots, the Decepticons are the bad guys. But like, hold on. How the fuck are the Decepticons the bad guys? Because Megatron, all he's trying to do is save his people.
Right.
But this fucking traitor ass fucking Uncle Tom, goddamn Optimus Prime, is stopping him from bringing Cybertron to life, back to life, because Cybertron is dying, and they are trying to take Cybertron and put it here on Earth, which that should be their goal, to save their people.
Right.
So the way I see it, no, Megatron is not the bad guy. He's a very good guy. He's trying to save his people.
Right.
The bad guy is the one who is his people, trying to end his line of people.
Right.
Like, how could you fight against that? That's just like us. Like, if we are here to fighting together to build the black community, you know, what a nigga look like trying to defend everyone else, you know, against us? Like, what nigga? What is you doing?
Right.
That's fucking crazy to me.
Right.
You,
happens.
You know? Yeah. The fuck that. Fuck. I mean, hey, fuck you, Optimus Prime. You know what I mean? Like, you's a bad nigga. You know what I'm saying? You fucking shit up. Niggas is trying to come up, and you over here stopping it. You know.
Right.
So my point is, if you don't, you got to have an open mind, completely open mind. You know, before I had my mind open to break, you know, in breaking that programming, I couldn't fathom that. I couldn't think of making these people who are so-called bad guys the good guys, because I was programmed not to think that way.
Right.
So people ask yourselves, are you able to understand all aspects of it? So it's like, this is the good guy. Okay, how about this guy? X-Men, for example, Professor X and Magneto.
Right.
Professor X is the baddest motherfucker. He is the most ruthless villain of Marvel. And what's so ruthless about him? He's a fucking mind bender. He's a
telepath.
He's a telepath. His telepathic ability, Stan Lee did this. His telepathic ability is so fucking fire. He has mind control over the readers, having us think that he's a fucking good guy. His fucking X-Men ability, his fucking mutant power is real, bro.
Yeah.
Because people really think he's a good guy. He has mind control of the X-Men. He makes them do.
Oh man.
He makes them do what he wants them to do. Oh shit! I thought you had it on.
I did. Sheep can come through the do not disturb.
You gonna answer?
No. Let it ring. It's crazy.
Damn! Right in the middle of my Professor X spiel.
Yeah.
People need to know about Professor X. That motherfucker's ruthless. Look what he did to Jean. Okay, back to Professor X. This motherfucker's so ruthless. You know, he's got human beings that read about him thinking that he's a good guy. Okay. Magneto is trying to create equality for the mutants. All the mutants of the world being oppressed, just straight up oppressed, you know, smacking niggas around, killing mutants in the street, you know.
Right.
Sound familiar? You know, and Magneto's like, whoa, fuck no, this is coming to an end because y'all are really pushing it now. Like
right.
y'all just make laws, you put laws on your books about, you know, being able to harm mutants.
Right.
This is not happening anymore. Now, meanwhile, Professor X, he is making he's in politics, making deals with the politics, talking about we'll make sure the mutants don't respond and you know, and kill anybody because they know that the mutants can fuck some shit up.
Right.
Okay. Professor X is stopping Magneto from turning the fuck up on the humans to protect the mutants.
Right.
How is he the bad guy? They will tell you that Magneto is the villain, even though Professor X and Magneto were friends before.
Right.
That takes me to fucking Harry Potter. The new one. Listen, Dumbledore and Grindelwald, they were best friends. They were lovers. All right. Dumbledore is seen as just the fucking golden guy. He's just such a good guy. He's look at him. He's Dumbledore. You know, and Grindelwald though, oh, he's fucking bad. He's Johnny Depp, which the best Grindelwald was Johnny Depp, by the way. Sorry.
Yeah.
And they were best friends. They had a pact together, not to, fight against each other or whatever. Now, what Grindelwald wanted to do is have the magic people, pretty much run the world instead of the humans, the
Right.
non-magic run the world. He even made like a vision and showed people what the future would look like if the mages ran the world. And it showed, showed the nuclear bomb going off. It's showing oppression. It's showing like all this fucked up shit that's happening.
Right.
So that was Grindelwald's plan. Was his ultimate goal was to not have this happen.
Right.
Which, because they stopped him, this is what really happened.
Right.
So Grindelwald was trying to save the world from the people and save the people from themselves. And he might have came off as racist and wanting to be superior, but that's cool. You can be that because you have a superior thought of mind, and the humans have a superior thought of destruction.
Right.
There's a balance. So Grindelwald was not the bad guy. I was feeling for Grindelwald, like, man, let that man out of prison, bro. Like, what the fuck? That's Johnny Depp,
Right.
Just Grindelwald. They go, what the fuck? He's the good guy. Thanos. Sorry, I got to do another one, man. Thanos, man. People are always talking about Thanos being the bad guy. Thanos made a decision that no one else could do, because what he said, he's going to get this Infinity Gauntlet and he's going to snap to cut all forms of life in half so that the universe can continue on, because
Right.
it was getting to a point of where it was going to collapse because of I guess, the way life was multiplying.
Right.
So they're like, that's fucking crazy, but it's not crazy because he proved it before that's what happened. That's what happened to his planet. His planet was destroyed because overpopulation and all this other shit that would have been changed if half the population was cut.
Right.
And that is something that is hard to do, like emotionally, because you got to get rid of people. But it's like, if the people are here, then we all die.
Right.
But if you get rid of the people, then some of us are going to live, some of us are going to die. So it's worth us continue to live
Instead of everybody dying.
Yeah. So that's something that's pretty fucking brave. Thanos was the hero. And if everything would have won after the first one, what was it? Infinity War. Hey, I could have rested easily. Like, hey, Thanos won. Yeah. And he did it. The fucking hero has done it. But then they went and made another movie and beat the hero. The gang, they ganged up on him and jumped my man Thanos, bro. Thor cutting his motherfucking head off and shit. Talking about, you should have said go for the head. Man, come on, man, with that bullshit. But anyways, I'm not going to go on a rant anymore. But good guy and bad guy, fuck good guy and bad guy. You choose who good guy and bad guy is. If you're able to break your programming and make an unbiased decision on who the good guy or bad guy is. End of that.
Yeah, that was deep. I feel like we should end on that note.
Sorry, I kind of went off there, man.
No, it's cool, and that's
my nerd just came completely out. I went from Harry Potter to fucking Marvel to fucking DC. Yeah, I just did that, man. Sorry.
It is what it is. We did that. But yeah, first off, I want to thank all of our listeners. We've been receiving like good comments and good feedback. I feel like this is something that we need to keep doing. I want everybody that's listening to like and subscribe. Follow me on TikTok, Instagram, all social media, Rock the Outsider on everything. And this guy, I'm still trying to convince him to get into social media. He thinks it's the devil.
Yeah, I am one of those off the grid type of fellas, you know what I mean? So I'm kind of non-existent on social media, but I am working on it.
Yeah, but you message me and I can get to him. He's one phone call away.
Yeah, and I'm working on getting the page out there. I'm just gonna have to.
He's gonna have to suck it up.
Yeah, and just do it.
Yeah,
but I am working on it.
All right, but thank you everybody for listening. Join us next time. This is the Outsider's Perspective.
Yep.